Afonso Das. I would like to extend her apologies for not attending this morning. However, she is still in the UK. She attended WTM and is currently doing training with tour operators so we can maximize the knowledge of Barbados and make sure that we get lots of people here. She apologizes but sends her wishes and is well aware of what is happening this morning. This morning, we would wish to present to you the BHTA's position with respect to the concessions that the government has recently announced for part of the industry. However, before commencing this, we would like to, on behalf of the association, to give a wholehearty welcome to Sandals Resorts International and to the shores of Barbados. We are fully aware that the Sandals brand is well recognized and in our key markets, and that the recognition to their newly acquired product, namely Sandals Couples at Casuarina, and by extension to Barbados, be it to tour operators, travel agents, or consumers, this brand is very, very well known. The company is also well known for its extensive marketing capabilities and its ability to encourage and maintain additional airlift, and this has been demonstrated in other areas where they have opened product. Airlift is always encouraged to fly to a destination where there is sufficient room inventory and that is of a good quality. This was demonstrated already here in Barbados when the Arman Hotel Group was initially opened and the operation of Virgin Atlantic commenced flying into Barbados. The introduction of Sandals to Barbados is positive for the industry as a whole, if and only if the operating playing field is level. We look forward to receiving Sandals' membership application and welcoming them to the industry's family at BHTA. In fact, I did hear that Butch was speaking to some of my past presidents in London and said that he was looking forward to being a member of BHTA. We're pleased to note that the government has recognized the importance of the tourism industry, citing that this industry will be the one to drive the economic growth for the country and to assist the economy out of its current morass. However, for this to be an actual reality, the industry must be able to move quickly to an environment that is both competitive and sustainable. The Minister of Tourism and International Transport announced in his ministerial statement presented to Parliament on the 22nd of October that a number of concessions are to be given to the two Sandals properties, and some of these concessions being offered are available to current operators, either through the TDA CAP 341 or through CAP 67B, the duties, taxes and other payments exemption. The list of duty-free concessions in the second schedule of the TDA, which was updated as recently as August the 5th, is going to have a further amendment, and a further amendment is to be made to this schedule, which will essentially allow every hotel to get what is needed within reason to stay competitive. The BHTA is currently in discussion with the Minister regarding this amendment, together with the updating of the core of the Act. And provided the additional items are added in a timely manner, this will assist all aspects of the industry, not only hotels, but villas, restaurants, and our attractions. In the ministerial statement presented in Parliament, it was stated that the two memoranda of understanding with SRI for the developments of the two Sandals properties that was signed on October the 18th. And whilst we will be discussing some of the issues re concessions this morning, it is important for the industry to fully understand the contents of these documents. And we request, in good faith, that these concessions will be available across the industry. A new category of concessions was announced within the ministerial statement, and this involves tax concessions for food and beverage, and I quote, "It is proposed that with immediate effect, all investments of this size, that is, Barbados 500 million or greater, in the all-inclusive segment of the market should qualify for this concession. The matter will remain under constant review, since it is proposed to extend the concession to other all-inclusive properties in Barbados as government finances permits. On the one hand, we are excited that at long last the government has recognized that the current level of duties for food and beverage cannot work in the current dynamic and globally competitive arena. We have been lobbying for duty reductions on some items for over 6 years, and now the government has seen fit not just to reduce the duties, but to offer duty-free for food and beverage items for all-inclusive properties valued over $500 million. But what about the all-inclusive properties that are currently operational and are not valued at over $500 million? How can they compete on such an unfair playing field? How can they go to the market with comparable prices for rooms and packages? How can they survive when one player is taking the market share of no less than 150,000 additional visitors with preferential concessions? It is interesting to note that to date, Sandals Resorts International have only invested 100 million Barbados to purchase Casuarina Resort. The 500 million that is required to purchase and develop the Armour Beach Village is technically money that is being sourced by government, and ultimately is the taxpayers of Barbados that will be paying for this development initially, and not SRI. We are cognizant that there is an option for SRI to buy, but initially the cost will be held by Barbadians. It is also outstanding that in a matter of just 3 weeks from the signing of the 2 memoranda of understanding with SRI to the opening of the Couples Sandals Resort, that the hotel is up and running with concessions in place and as announced, and is already in the marketplace offering up to 40% reductions on their package rate. But unfortunately, our established hotels are not able to be operating under the same criteria. This is not acceptable, nor is it sustainable. If the locally owned Armour Group of hotels had maybe been offered this same concession whilst in operation, they would most probably still be functioning. We do not want to see further closures of our all-inclusive properties, and a level playing field must be applied. Of the 10 current hotels operating as all-inclusive, none of them would reach the criteria of the 500 million Barbados mark as a single hotel. So effectively, the government has created a ring fence around this group, unless, of course, all of the all-inclusive hotels can apply to the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs under Cap 67B for special concessions. The association has commenced discussions with the government regarding this issue, and we encourage all of the all-inclusive properties to apply under this concession environment, so that consideration can be given to all of the all-inclusive hotels that are currently operational. We applaud the government on their speedy action to achieve the opening of Couples Sandals Barbados, and in doing so, a precedent for fast-tracking tourism products has been established. The association has for many years been lobbying for a fast track or a one-stop shop to implement tourism projects, and we look forward to seeing this fast-tracking process being utilized in the future and in the immediate to fast-track both the Tourism 10-point plan and the Tourism Budgetary Proposal announced on July 19th and August the 13th respectively, all of which are urgently needed for the hotels to be able to minimize their operational costs and maximize their revenues during the upcoming winter season. Barbados has always been proud to say that the product offering is one that can be sold to a broad range of consumers, as it includes budget hotels, apartments, small intimate hotels, medium-sized hotels, luxury hotels, all-inclusive, condo hotels, timeshare, and villas. This has been a major advantage for the island and needs to be retained. The association is very concerned about the message that is being sent to the industry, to our strategic partners, and to future investors. Are we saying to our current operators that in order to obtain concessions to be competitive within the food and beverage area, that you must now operate as an all-inclusive product? Over the past 60 years of hotel operation in Barbados, there has been significant investment by private owners and companies to develop all of the different sectors of the industry. Many of the investors with us this morning have made very large contributions to the industry by purchasing land and/or property, building, renovating, and refurbishing their product. Even some of these larger investors cannot reach the 500 million Barbados benchmark set by the government for one property, but are the same operators that collect the major share of the foreign exchange that contributes to the economy of this country. Hotels such as the Crane, Bougainvillea, Ocean 2, Sandpiper, Coral Reef, Hilton Barbados, Courtyard by Marriott, Sandy Lane, Fairmont, and the Elegant Hotels Group must not be penalized and be forced to play on an uneven playing field. We must not forget also that we have many small hotels in Barbados that are locally owned and have over the years provided an important role in maintaining our clientele. They will not be able to compete against such concessions, nor against discounting that will be affordable to the inclusive grouping. Their operation is just as important as that of the all-inclusive product and must be treated in the same manner. To ignore these very significant players will cause untold damage to the industry and will force some of the players to no longer be able to invest in their product, thus reducing the standard of the offering, or may cause further closures, neither of which can be the recipe for the tourism industry to drive the economy of this country. Are we telling our tour operator and travel agent partners that we only encourage all-inclusive hotels and that the best deal for their client will be an all-inclusive? Surely this is not our message. The Minister of Tourism and International Transport has on repeated occasions stated that tourism must be about the visitor experience and that the dollar spent must have a trickle-down effect to all, be it Oisting's Fish Fry, community tourism, a craft vendor, a water sports operator, a taxi driver, or a hair braider. Tourism is everyone's business, and we fully agree with this philosophy. Are we stating to potential investors that unless you wish to operate an all-inclusive product, you will not receive concessions on food and beverage and maybe other areas? A potential investment from brands such as Ritz-Carlton would not be interested in an all-inclusive operation. It is a challenge at this time to encourage investors into Barbados, as is currently demonstrated by the number of hotels lying vacant. We do not need now to add further restrictions or obstacles. Some 20 years ago, there were a large number of expatriate hotel managers, food and beverage managers, marketing directors, chefs, golf course managers, etc., issued with work permits. Over time, the number of work permits being issued has declined considerably, whereby there are now many more hotel manager, executive chef, and food and beverage manager positions being held by Barbadians. We would not wish to see this change significantly, and we trust that every effort will be made to ensure that as many Barbadians as possible are given the opportunity to become a member of the Sandals team. It has been stated by government that hotels can make applications for work permits and will be treated in the same manner as is being offered to Sandals. However, it has been recently brought to our attention that some of our larger luxury properties are experiencing difficulties with work permit applications. Again, we reiterate, a fair and even playing field must exist for all. The association is proud to not only represent our amazing hotels but other aspects of the tourism product, and we would wish to request the government to look at the restaurant sector when considering the food and beverage concessions. If these concessions are not offered to them, they will be operating at a major disadvantage. And we must see the trickle-down effect of the tourism dollar flowing to all areas of the sector. Barbados is currently being marketed by the BHTA through the Food and Wine and Rum Festival as the culinary capital of the Caribbean. We can only retain that title if the restaurants can be competitive. On a final note, we have discussed the reduction of the VAT rates for the DTS membership with the Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, and we are aware that a decision has been taken regarding the various categories that have been included for this reduction. We are now awaiting a letter to confirm this decision, and we sincerely trust that this will be forthcoming so that the reduction can be implemented before the winter season, thereby offering the operators the opportunity of maximizing their selling power during the peak time. To recap, we sincerely welcome the Sandals brand. The TDA's second schedule, further amendment, and core of the Act must continue to be amended. An even playing field, for all of our all-inclusive hotels must be a major point of issue. An even playing field for all non-all-inclusive operators is critical. We have to have a balanced product being sold in Barbados. An even playing field for the restaurants and an even playing field for work permits. The BHTA has always maintained that as an export industry, the import costs for tourism should be free of duties, which would make Barbados globally competitive. The government has clearly recognized that to facilitate the Sandals investment, there was a need to offer a better operating environment in order to be profitable. This is a reality, and we look forward to this being extended to the industry so that a level playing field is achieved, thus maximizing the effectiveness of the sector and creating the possibility of the industry being able to grow the economy. Nothing short of equal treatment for all tourism stakeholders at this time and moving forward is acceptable. Thank you.